Van Gogh was kind of like a DJ, but with colors. He knew how to mix those reds and greens and get the vibe just right. Welcome to the Night Cafe. This isn't just another painting by Vincent Van Gogh. It's like stepping into a world where every color and brushstroke is bursting with emotions. Imagine a cafe scene, but make it super intense. That's what Van Gogh did here. This painting isn't just about showing a place. It's about deep diving into feelings of sadness and loneliness. In the Night Cafe, Van Gogh takes us inside the Café à la Gare in Arles, France. This painting is more than just a bunch of colors on canvas. It's like a short story, but told with oil paints. Van Gogh spent 3 whole nights working on this under some pretty harsh lighting to capture a group of people who've seen better days in a setting that's both bright and a bit spooky. But here's the thing, the painting's bright colors are kind of a trick. Van Gogh was actually trying to show how a place like this cafe could be where people end up when life gets tough, like a warning sign saying, "Watch out, you might go crazy or do something you'll regret." Van Gogh himself wasn't a fan of this painting, calling it one of his least favorites. But let's be real, the Night Cafe is a big deal. It's like a magnet pulling you in with its loud colors and thick paint. It shows us the fun side of life, but doesn't shy away from the not-so-fun parts like feeling alone or down in the dumps. It's Van Gogh's way of saying, "Hey, look at this place and all these people. They've got stories to tell." In fact, Van Gogh's ups and downs in life played a big role in creating this eye-catching painting. Vincent Van Gogh grew up in the Netherlands in a family headed by a pastor. As a kid, he was pretty quiet and loved nature. He started his career selling art in London and Paris, but a heartbreak in London made him turn to religion and helping others. However, his way of practicing religion was a bit too out of the box for the church, and they weren't having it. So he turned to art, hoping to make the world a little better through his paintings. Van Gogh's time hanging out at the Café de la Gare in Arles really left a mark on him. This wasn't just any cafe. It was where people who had nowhere to go ended up. Van Gogh saw it as a place full of danger and sadness. He painted the Night Cafe in just 3 nights, trying to capture the vibe of the place after dark. The painting is a mix of his own feelings of being lonely and not fitting in, along with the tough stories of the cafe's regulars. Van Gogh saw the cafe as a symbol of life's rough patches, which is pretty clear when you look at those bold reds and greens he used. There are 5 people looking like they've had a rough night, described by Van Gogh as the 3 drunks and derelicts in a large public room. This picture shows a cafe at night in Arles, where locals who don't have much, including prostitutes, hang out. Van Gogh painted them just hanging around and drinking in the back of the room. Van Gogh talked about this place in letters to his brother, Theo. He joked to Theo that the cafe's owner, Jeannot, got so much money from him that he decided to paint the cafe as a way of getting back at him. Van Gogh also said these night cafes were spots where people who didn't have a place to stay or were too drunk to go anywhere else could crash. These folks, either sleeping or out of it, kind of scream loneliness and sadness, which Van Gogh often painted about. The cafe itself is pretty bright with clashing colors, but there are no shadows except for the pool tables, making everything look flat and disconnected. The green ceiling and red walls make the place feel a bit like a pressure cooker, and the yellow light of the billiard table and floor gives off a weird, dim, nighttime vibe, while the furniture, the tables, and the billiard table are painted with really thick, odd strokes, adding to the whole strange feeling of the place. The lonely-looking people in the cafe are like a mirror to Van Gogh's own sense of isolation and feeling stuck. His life was a roller coaster of wanting to connect with people and often getting the cold shoulder. This cafe scene is like a snapshot of Van Gogh's own world, where everyone feels trapped in their own bubble of gloom, much like Van Gogh often did. Van Gogh's friendship with fellow artist Paul Gauguin is a notable example of both collaboration and conflict. Dreaming of creating an artists' group, Van Gogh invited Gauguin to Arles, hoping to work together. Initially, they created great art, but their differences in style and opinion soon led to tension. Van Gogh, who was always scared of being abandoned, felt this fear become a reality when Gauguin, after his continuous frustration, decided to leave Van Gogh. This departure not only devastated Van Gogh, but also reflected his deep fear of loneliness, a sentiment vividly captured in the somber mood of the night cafe. Diving back into the painting, Van Gogh's choice of colors is a big deal. He uses really strong greens and reds that clash, making you feel the tension and drama among the people in the painting. Then there's this sickly yellow that spreads all over, symbolizing things going bad. These colors aren't just for show. They're Van Gogh's way of painting what he calls the terrible passions of humanity. This mix of loud and unsettling colors matches the painting's themes of feeling alone and kind of lost. In his letters to his brother Theo, Van Gogh didn't beat around the bush about the night cafe. He straight up said he used those colors on purpose. In my painting of the night cafe, I've tried to express the idea that the cafe is a place where you can ruin yourself, go mad, and commit crimes. Anyway, I tried with contrasts of delicate pink and blood red and wine red, soft Louis XV and Veronese green, contrasting with yellow greens and hard blue greens, all of that in an ambiance of a hellish furnace in pale sulfur, to express something of the power of the dark corners of a grog shop, and yet with the appearance of Japanese gaiety and Tartaren's good nature. He wanted to show that the cafe was a bad place. The colors, those jarring blues and greens against the intense red and yellow, were meant to make the place look like a devil's furnace. This conscious choice of colors and their psychological impact bridges us to another significant aspect of Van Gogh's artistry, the influence of the color theory. In his out-of-this-world mind, Van Gogh was really into color theory. He studied it like a student cramming for exams. He picked colors like red and green on purpose because they really stand out when you put them together. But like he told his brother in a letter, these colors are tough to handle. They're not as easy to look at as other colors like orange and blue. The night cafe is a prime example. The red and green colors don't just sit there, they shout at each other, making the whole scene feel more intense. Van Gogh didn't just play with red and green in the night cafe. He tried this combo in other paintings too. Take Head of a Woman, for instance. Here he mixed these colors rather than placing them side by side, showing he was still experimenting with his color theory idea. His time in Paris, checking out artists like Eugène Delacroix and the Impressionists, was like color boot camp for him. It's where he really got into using bright, bold colors and trying out different color clashes. The Night Cafe is like Van Gogh's masterclass in using color to mess with our heads and hearts. His deep dive into color theory and his willingness to experiment made his style stand out. This painting isn't just a bunch of colors thrown together, it's a calculated move to pull us into the chaotic and emotional world of the cafe's regulars. If you're into the whole emotional roller coaster and color wizardry of Van Gogh's work, check out his other paintings where he used similar techniques. It's like following a trail of breadcrumbs through Van Gogh's journey in the art world, seeing how his unique take on color shook things up and keeps inspiring artists and art fans today.